So, anyways, hopefully life is good for everybody. 2025, man, it's been a year. And good things, bad things. It's life. Life happens. I'm not tripping. I'm not gonna complain. I mentioned earlier last or later last week that my channel got demonetized. Um, Now, luckily, my active strike is gone. I think I'm still at warning status, so that's a good thing. And I will not be uploading any more shorts because shorts on my channel. 'Cause that's basically how a lot of people found my channels because I would upload shorts that made people laugh and made people think. Sometimes maybe made even made people argue and whatnot because people like to argue, which is fine. I mean, that's what the algorithm's all about. People, getting online and arguing about things and things of that nature and talking. The more clicks you get, likes, subscriptions, comments. That's good for the algorithm. So I'm not even mad. It's like Booker T said. If you ever watch my lives, I usually don't go live on YouTube from my cell phone, but they say don't hate the player, hate the game. And so I'm not no longer part of the YouTube Partners program, which is cool. I'm not even mad at YouTube. Hey, I went against the community guidelines, so it is what it is. So, but I will not, most likely will not try to sign up with the YouTube partners where I could get super chats and subscriptions and things of that nature. I just think I'm not going to kill myself over making content anymore. At a different place in my life where I think I need to be focusing on more things that actually pay. Number one, make things better, make me more intelligent, and just overall different things like the work. I'm contemplating if I'm not going to do my word of the days anymore. Just got a call, being a landlord, just got a call, got a nice, beautiful bill for one of my properties because the water heater went out. So, that's like I said, that's why this title of this live video is, 2025 is, kicking me in the butt. Um, because it really, has been. It's like financially, it's been one thing after another. But I'm glad that one. I always say, make money moves or you can live broke like a fool because we're in times now where if you don't have money saved, if you don't have money invested, then you're going to be more and more financially tested. That's why the credit card debt crisis is the next big bubble. The credit card debt crisis, because so many people are having to utilize credit cards to basically be able to pay bills, or they're utilizing credit cards because they want to do fancy things. I mean, I do the same thing. I recently launched a travel business, and if you want to sign up, the links are in the description. To where if because I travel often, and just shout out to Monica Gordon. It just makes sense for me to it just makes sense for me to actually have a travel business because I'd love to travel. That's one thing I don't. That's my main thing. I don't want to give up. Is get my travel on and see. I'm at a phase now where I'm ready to see the world. Excuse me a second. I just had to check something. But yeah, I'm at a place now where I'm ready to see the world, more of the world and whatnot. And yeah, I'm ready to see the world and just do different things. So that's where I'm at in my life right now. And I'm looking forward to that. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, but yeah, I'm in that phase of my life right now where yeah, I'm ready to see more of the world, go to different destinations, just do different things. That's where I'm at in my life right now, and I'm looking forward to it. Excuse me a second. What the heck is this nonsense? Uh, yeah, so that's just where I'm at in my life right now. But as far as stressing out over making content, I'm not really going to be doing that going into 2026. So I most likely will not be putting out as much content as I used to. I'll probably go live more on YouTube. I'll definitely do more of that. Won't be putting up any shorts anytime soon. I know I can reapply at a certain time for the YouTube Partners program, but probably by that time I'll get rid of all the shorts that I had on my channel. So a lot of revamping will be happening with my content and just in my life in general. And that's cool. I'm learning more and more that change is normal. This is without change, there's no progression in this life. And at this year, I stopped making videos about other black businesses that are around the country and sometimes around the world. I used to do that at least once a week. haven't been doing that as much lately. A lot of times I just rather just go live and off the cuff. And I know when it comes to making content, if I utilize reuse content from a fair use perspective in regards to if I make a video and then put the content out there and comment on it, but that's really not my style, and I don't really see myself getting more views with but we'll see what happens. You know, main thing is I don't want to lose this channel, so that's why I'm not really gonna put too much stuff up here anymore. And I'll leave it. I mean, that's really what it is. Like I said, between 2025 is not only kicking my butt, it's kicking a lot of other people's butt. This government shutdown is crazy. I'm not going to comment on it. Whatever your opinion is, put it in the comment section. If you've seen my content enough, I'm not anti-government. I'm not anti-corporation. I don't speak on those topics. It's not not my thing. I'm from the DMV area. I live in the DMV area. I've been surrounded by this my whole life, my whole adult life. And I travel so much to get away from even having those kind of conversations about politics, regardless of who's in office. So the airport I fly out from is where the majority of Congress fly out of, because it's right next to DC. So I've been on plane flights with Congress people and senators and whatnot. Heck, even the Virginia governor. So it's not that serious for me. It's a crazy time, but I mean, I made a video the last time there was a government shutdown, and I just kept it simple. I said, look. And I was way more sympathetic for that people at that time. And I'm still sympathetic for anybody going through any financial hardships right now. But I will say that I've been making content since 2017. I've been seriously making content since 2020. My personal opinion, during the pandemic, I got to utilize more tools and things of that nature. But I'm really gonna say that one thing I can say with sincerity is that the more I see people, like, I'm 42 years old. I've never had a new car. I've always drove older vehicles. I live in an older home. I don't buy fancy stuff. The only fancy thing I quote unquote do is get on an airplane and go places. Like, most people have a nice car. Most people, have overpriced stuff. Most people don't look to go out of their way to say, hey, I'm going to have an overpriced get on an airplane, leave the country often, or leave their state often. That I've learned through the last 2 years how many people live I like to call a basic, boring existence, or not basic, but basic life. Let's not call it boring, because boring is a subjunctive word. Fun is a subjunctive word, because fun for a lot of people is sitting down watching a football game. That's why everybody's having a heart attack over this Bad Bunny thing. I don't care. If you see my content, I don't watch football. Only time you see me with a sports hat on or anything of that nature, it's going to be a Dodger hat. This is because I like Los Angeles. I ain't never seen a Dodger game. I don't know the stats of anything when it comes to sports. I'm not a sports fan. I'm not a fan when it comes to most things that most guys are into in sports and video games and politics and whatnot. So I like to discuss money. I like to travel, and I like history and culture. That's my thing, and I'm cool with that. You know what I'm saying? So I keep it simple on that note. But the point at the end of the day of this video is that 2025 is not only kicking my butt, it's kicking everybody else's butt. But I've always been of the mindset, my bank account and my assets need to look better than everything else in my life. It needs to look better than my clothing. It needs to look better than my house. It needs to look better than my cars. Period. So whatever sacrifices I need to make in order for me to ensure that happens, I do that. And even if it means putting, like so many people are hell bent on buying a whole stock, I've been buying fractions of the stocks for years and whatnot, and it still paid me off dividends. Now, have those dividends been small? Yes. Compared to when people buy actual shares of stocks? Yes. But money coming back to me is money coming back to me, whether it's cents or dollars. So, you know what I'm saying? It's like going old school, putting money in the piggy bank and whatnot, pennies and quarters and dimes and whatnot, and nickels into a piggy bank to let it sit there. Only difference is, when those dividends come back to me, I have the option of cashing them out. I have the option of reinvesting them. 90% of the time, I'm going to reinvest those dividends. So that is the thing. I'm not giving out financial advice. Absolutely not. I'm just saying what I do. Do your own research. But at the end of the day, what the point of the matter is that I take money seriously more than anything else in my life because of moments like what we're in now, as far as 2025 as a whole. I'm not just talking about the government shutdown. I'm talking about, I'm talking about 2025 as a whole, with inflation rates, student loan payments having to, thank God I don't have student loans, student loan payments being back up, car payments being, your average car payment for a reasonable new car is up to, is at the least $700 a month and up to $1,200 to $1,300 a month. Okay, your average rental payment for a decent place to live in is at $1,800 to $2,000 a month in a major metropolitan area. Um, so it's just, these things matter. Okay. And Lord forbid, like I said, if you have a student loan payment, I mean, what's your average student loan payment? Let's look it up. What is the average student loan? Yeah, there it is, student loan payment. This is one of those off the cuff. So your average student loan payment is difficult to pin down, but it's estimated to be around $336 for recent bachelor's recipients, while the average payment for a master's degree holder is higher or around $840 a month. So let's just get the calculator out, man. That's why I said it's like, let's just. That's why I said I'm just doing this off the cuff today, because I haven't really been on here lately because I just haven't been feeling like it lately. So let's go with, let's just even it out. Let's go with $400 a month. Okay, so that's for student loans. All right. Now plus, let's say for your average rent, let's even it out to $1,500. All right. Let's just, like I said, let's just be reasonable. All right. Plus car payments, $700. We'll go with the low end. Plus, all right. So, and this is not talking about taxes. This isn't giving you insurance for your car, um, you know, health insurance. But we're just going with these things. And then when it comes to groceries, I'm gonna even it out to, let's say, 450, because the cost of groceries have gone. So for a month, let's go with 450. This is at the low end, and this is for one person, by the way, not a family. Because every time I see a family at a grocery store, the bill is no less than $200. So that's 3 grand, right? $3,000 and $50. $3,050. All right, all together. Um, so it's just like, because like I said, that $1,500, that could be your average mortgage payment, that could be your average rental payment or whatnot. But a lot of times, depending on the area that you live in, the rental payment could be up to $1,800 to $2,000. And that's why today's developers are going out of the way to just put up to build homes, to build luxury apartments now, which I've gone live and talked. Well, I haven't gone live, but I've talked about on my Patterson Properties LLC channel. So, with that being said, it is what it is. Yeah. So yeah, I think so. It's just like, so that's how much someone's making. This is by yourself. Imagine if you have kids. Okay, if you have kids, it's going to be up to almost $5,000 a month, and everybody's feeling it. No matter if you live in Texas, California, New York, the DMV area, everybody's feeling the financial pinch and whatnot. Jobs disappearing because jobs are disappearing because of a variety of reasons, but the main two reasons are, and you can do your research on this yourself, you don't just need to take it from me, is that because of the increase of the usage of AI, number one. Then number two, a lot of times it's because of the lack of demand. Case in point, places like Disney, because of it costs too much, the summer season's over with. And then number three, the whole debacle with the Jimmy Kimmel thing. And a lot of people said if they just would have got rid of him because of, if they would have got rid of him because of, hey, you're not getting the views or whatnot, we're restructuring the company, then it would have been a different story. But because they got into, this is what happens when a corporation gets political. And I think 2025, Tesla and Disney should learn to stay out of politics. Okay, tell your people to stay out of politics, no matter what side you're on, because you're going to tick off one side, and unless you're to the point like the NFL, the whole nonsense with people getting mad about Bad Bunny, and people have killed this stupid argument. I don't even listen to Bad Bunny, whether he performs or not. There, it's do your thing, man. It's like I don't even watch the football. I don't watch football, so my mindset is I hope he has a great, from what I've seen, what he's done, he's for his people. He's Puerto Rico first, and he's about giving back to his people, and I can't get mad at that. Um, but anyways, yeah. So people are mad about that because I remember because the main reason is because he canceled his U.S. tours because he's not in favor of the current administration. That's his thing, whatever. But people keep forgetting that. See, the NFL's done a good job of staying, after the thing with Kaepernick, they've done a good job of saying, "Hey, let's stay out of politics. Let's stick to the economics." And I always say, I don't need to know your politics. I need to know your economics. Meaning, are you about making money? Do you make money passively? And can you show me how? I can show you how I do it. Can you show me how I do it? Your political agreements and affiliations is a waste of time, especially as grown ups, especially as grown men. Grown men should not be arguing politics. That's some loser stuff. Period. Unless that grown man is in office, running for office, or a lobbyist. Grown men should not be arguing over politics on the internet. Some loser stuff. I said it, and I'm gonna keep it that way. I don't care what side you're on. I'm not in my early 20s where I'm trying to change the world. I got responsibilities. I got things to do. That's why I'm not going to be putting too much time and energy on my YouTube channel. I mean, on social media, because it's not really for me like that anymore. So there's not enough money involved. It's kind of like Scarface said. Um, he said on Shannon Sharp's channel, he's like, he doesn't make music like that anymore because there's no money in it like it was when he was coming up. You can't, you don't make that much money online, unless you're going on tour and selling merchandise. That's where the money is in the music industry. When he was, just coming up, there was money in selling music, there was money in touring music, and there was money in selling merchandise. Since the big equation of sales has been cut out of music, and this is why we're not going to have that much good quality music in the future anyways. But anyways, I digress. But and this is like me putting out posts like this has made people cut me off from on social media or even in real life, and that's fine. Because I said, it's like, look, y'all arguing over sports and politics. Me and my team is arguing over how we can come up when it comes to economics. And I stand on that till the day I die. So when 5 years from now, when Donald Trump's not president and people are arguing over who the new president is, I'm still going to stand on my square talking about what's up with the economics, what's up with the money. So I'll leave it at that. If Looney Tunes, Porky Pig, and Curious George is the president, I'm still going to be like, yo, man, what's up with those economics? What's up with the investments? How we making some money? That's it. That's my stance. What's up with the money? How we going to financially come up? What are we about? What's the business? So call me crazy, but anyways, so yeah, at the end of the day, I look at this. I can round it out. Probably if the average family, I mean, heck, let's look it up. What does your how much does it cost to have a family today? All right. All right. Raising a child in the United States can cost nearly $375,000 to $400,000 from birth to the age of 18. So for most regular working people, this puts them into the red. This isn't me making this stat up. This is Google telling me what it is. Okay. Heck, I can even go to ABC's how much it costs to raise a child in the United States. It's climbed up. So, can a family of five live on $100,000 a year? Whether $100,000 is a good salary for a family of four depends heavily on the cost of living in their specific location. With it being more than enough in some areas, potentially insufficient in other areas, especially obviously like California and New York, and now DC. So if you're making $100,000 a year living in Michigan or Mississippi, I think you'd be okay. But especially now we're living in a time where it's like the less bills you have, the best, because of inflation and the cost of living. Um, and that's why it's like, if I could give any advice to a young man, I would just tell him two things. Really, just tell him two things. And the main two things is this. The main two things is this. I would tell young men that, obviously, three things. Try to be as healthy as possible. Be about your paper in regards to whether you're doing business or you're working in a career. Ensure that let's go with five things. Ensure that on top of that, that you're saving money, investing money, and do your research by investing your money, specifically in Bitcoin. Do your research, stocks, um, precious metals, gold. Do your research. I'm not giving out financial advice. Um, and obviously have as many individual retirement accounts, heck, possibly a life insurance account, a universal life insurance policy, annuities, whatever investment vehicles that you can think of, in order for you to sustain yourself financially when hard times come. If you need to have as many side hustles as possible, so be it. But ensure that you're about your paper first. When it comes to, do not impregnate the wrong woman. And I say this to females too. The same advice goes to the females. For the love of God, do not get impregnated by the wrong man. Do not get impregnated too early. It's just, let's just keep it real. But yeah, be about your paper, be about your business. And when it comes to selecting a life partner, don't just look for the love and whatnot. Make sure that your life partner is about something financially. You know, don't make the mistake of so many other men have made, including myself, of just looking in the looks and how nice they are and whatnot. Make sure that they got something going on upstairs. Make sure that you see in their daily actions what they are really about. Okay, like they said, as my one favorite documentary person says, "Don't talk about it, be about it." That's the advice I would give to younger men, because and women too, because if you just around somebody who's slouching, who's binging on the internet, binging on video games, binging off of arguing on the internet over things that don't make you money, at least, I mean, because I at least give the political pundits online, because I said a statement earlier, but I at least give the political pundits online that make money off of talking about politics. So you get that much respect from me. Sorry about eating, but it's like brunch time for me. I didn't know I was going to go live today. So, but yeah, real talk. Because Judge Judy said this, and I love this saying. She says, "Beauty fade, dumb is forever." And when we put out these stats, are they 100% conclusive stats that I put out in regards to raising a child and cost of living and things of that nature? No, nothing's 100% conclusive. As one former coworker said, the only thing that you're promised to in this life is death and taxes. So, and let's do the one last thing before I get off here. Retire in America. Because this is the thing. How much does it cost to retire in America? Total cost to retire in America varies significantly, with studies showing from figures from around $50,000 annually in low-cost states to over $129,000 annually in most expensive. So this is why most people end up moving to, well, Florida used to be a cheap state. It's not cheap anymore. So people move to places like Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, especially specifically. I mean, parts of Texas. I won't say Houston and Dallas and Austin anymore, because those places have become very expensive. But maybe 2 hours outside of those cities, because the beautiful thing is there's no income state taxes there, and I don't believe that certain states don't tax your retirement either. And when you retire, you want as much income as possible. And remember, retirement has nothing to do with age; it has everything to do with income. So if I had $5 million today, my butt could retire right now. But yeah, so it could be between 50,000 annually in low cost areas. I would say you would want to make at least up to 80,000 and over. Like I said, and when it comes to the most expensive places, obviously 130,000. I would go with 200,000 if you're going to do. But nobody's going to retire. Working people are not going to retire in California, New York, or the DMV area. It doesn't financially, it just doesn't make any sense anymore. But yeah, going, like, I'm gonna, I'll go live when it comes to New Year, and I'll go more in depth in what my plans are in 2026. Certain things in 2025 have gotten done, There's been some successes, there's been some losses. You win some, you lose some. But major changes are coming in my life. Major changes will be coming with my YouTube channels. I will not post as much content as I used to because I don't want to get in trouble because here's the thing, after getting my TikTok channel taken away from me, after getting a strike this year with YouTube, after getting my monetization taken away from YouTube, it's just not worth it. So that, but like I said, I know I won't do the reuse content anymore. If I do, it'll be in the fashion that YouTube says is acceptable, and I respect it because it's their platform, it's not mine. um but yeah, so young men, young women, you have to start thinking more like a boss, and I really love that about Damon Dash. He always talks about that. He's like, I speak boss. So when he's talking about ownership and things of that nature, but that goes with the territory of who you pick. This is one thing as far as a partner, because this is one thing I disagreed with Steve Harvey heavily when he talked about stop worrying about what she brings to the table. What do you bring to the table? And I'm looking at him like, no, man. If you about your business, man or a woman, you have the right to be looking at if you pick a life partner, especially if you picking somebody you're going to have kids with, you have a right to say, hey, what are you about? Okay, you look good. We have fun in the bedroom. We have a good time when we go out and things of that nature. But what do you seriously bring to the equation outside of that? Because I could have a dog for that. To have fun with. I could have just somebody that's a side piece to have sex with. Let's just keep it real. Okay? Let's cut as my favorite podcast would say, let's stop with the bull job, okay? I could have, these things without putting a ring on it. You know what I'm saying? So if I'm going to actually get a legal document and have a legal state contract with you, and this is for the men and women, this isn't just for the men. What do you bring to the table? What are you about? As soon as we walk down the aisle, or they say in the black community, jump the broom and whatnot and sign the papers, are you just going to be a bump on a log? Are you going to make my life harder? I would hope I'm not going to make your life harder. These are some serious things to take into consideration. I don't think anybody should think about marriage and having kids with people if they're not about their business. You know what I'm saying? Especially nowadays, because nobody's here to help you. Nobody's here to save you. You have no friends. This one young man who's a comedian out of Florida, he said he was like in his early to mid 30s, but he just said the real stuff. He's like, look, he said, if you can see that over the past 10 years, no matter what politicians in office, no matter what state or city you live in, they're not working for regular working people. They're working for corporations and themselves. They're not representing you. They represent themselves. And since corporations are people, they're representing corporations. He's like, it's the American way. You can't get mad at it. So knowing this, once again, it's not being anti-corporation. It's not being anti-government. It's not being anti-anything. It's just, I always say, if you don't operate as a corporation, as far as yourself, your friends, and your family, then you'll be lost financially for another generation. It's no hate or shade. It's just reality. And when I say these things, people want to argue. There's a picture of of these two women talking on a college campus, and a young kid comes up to them with a MAGA hat on that says, debate me, because they're ignoring him, because they're focused on other things that matter. And I say this on some realness. Young people like to debate for the sake of debating. Grown people should want to debate for the sake of learning and making money moves. Period. I'll debate you all day if you want to debate over the best cryptos to pick, the best stocks to pick, the best real estate to buy, the best businesses to open. These are the four and the best ways to be healthy. I'll debate over these 5 things all day, every day. But if it doesn't fall into that category, there's no reason for you and I to debate. I can't put it any other way. I got to keep it simple. I'm about to get off here, but 2025's kicked my butt. It's kicking other people's butt, but we still saying what's up. You got to wipe your face and get back up again, because life is a constant boxing. I will make a sports analogy, even though I don't watch sports. Life is a constant boxing ring. The moment we get up and step out of our house or step into our job and our business, we are in a competition, whether we realize it or not. So, and either you're going to, admit defeat, you're going to retreat, or you're going to get up and stomp your feet and say, what's up with the heat? You know what I mean? I can't put it any other way. I really just like to simplify things, even though people like to complicate simple things. Do what you do. But that's where we're at. So, like I said, 2025 has kind of kicked my butt. but we're gonna make these money moves regardless of the situation. So, anyways, do the great three things: like, share, and subscribe. Have a great day. As I always say, make money moves so you can live like a fool. To say in Spanish, bienvenido a la vida. Welcome to the life. If you want to sign up for my travel team, links in the descriptions. I want you to sign up. I have my travel program manager contact you, and we'll go from there. If you're a stock market investor, crypto investor, individual retirement account investor, don't forget to check out Webull, Stash, crypto.com, Coinbase. You sign up, I make money, you make money. When it comes to doing investing, you have to do your own research. I'm not giving out any financial advice, but specifically Stash. Like, shout out to Yvette Torres. She signed up, and I got $50 and she got $50 when she put money in her account. So it's a beautiful thing. So she was like the third person ever signed up, and it was a beautiful thing. And guess what I did with that money? I put it back into the stock market. So, but that's not financial advice. That's what I do. So, anyways, take care. We'll see what 2026 offers us, and we'll go from there. Take care. Let's say how do I, there it is. Okay.